Stop right here. Do not scroll. My beloved child. There is something you were never supposed to ignore today. Your hands may tremble. Your heart may feel heavy. Your breathing may shift for a moment. Because what you are about to hear is not a coincidence. Not an accident. And not something you can simply brush aside. My beloved child, listen with me. There is a message coming through right now, from Archangel Michael himself. And he is urging you, begging you, whispering into your spirit. Do not look away. Do not close this. Do not skip this moment. Because a presence, something standing close to your life, close enough to feel like the energy of a neighbor, has been quietly draining your blessings. And heaven is giving you 90 seconds to understand what has been happening. But my beloved child, don't scroll. The answer you have been searching for. The question you have been afraid to ask. And the truth you have felt tugging at your soul. All of it is hidden. In the next few moments. And Archangel Michael says, prepare yourself. Because when you hear what I reveal, you will finally understand why your peace, your finances, and your spirit have felt under attack. Do not scroll. Do not blink. Stay here. With me. Because heaven is opening a gate right now. My beloved child, listen with me. For weeks, months, perhaps even years. You have felt something quietly pressing against your life. Something subtle. Something you couldn't name. Something that drained your energy without permission. Michael calls it the neighboring shadow. Now listen carefully. This neighbor is not a person. It is not your real neighbor from across the street. It is not someone living next door. It is not a human being at all. It is an energy. A draining force. A spiritual shadow that stands close to the borders of your life. Like a neighbor stands close to your home. This shadow watches quietly. It waits. It feeds on emotional exhaustion, fear, confusion, and financial anxiety. And heaven has been watching it too. My beloved child. Don't scroll. You need to hear this. Archangel Michael says, this shadow is not powerful. But it becomes powerful when ignored. You have felt this presence in ways you never fully understood. That sudden wave of financial worry. That unexpected expense that appeared out of nowhere. That sinking feeling when you check your bank balance. That moment when you feel someone is taking advantage of your kindness. That confusion when blessings slip away. That heaviness before you fall asleep. Stop. Right here. Do not skip this part. Because Michael is explaining the truth. This shadow has been feeding from the edges of your life, pretending to be harmless, but draining your peace slowly. My beloved child. Listen with me. Because what comes next is important. Heaven says this draining force acts like a spiritual thief. Stealing not money, but clarity, hope, rest, trust, inner peace, and financial confidence. And over time, it makes you feel weaker. More alone. More anxious. more tired. Like life is slipping out of your hands. Have you felt that? That tightness in the chest? That pressure behind the eyes? That sudden fear of losing everything? That unexplained sadness? Stop. Do not scroll. The message is only beginning. The 90-second revelation, what heaven is showing you. Archangel Michael opens his wings now. A bright blue light surrounds you. A shield forms around your heart. He whispers, "My child, something close to you has been draining your blessings." It is not a person. It is a shadow force born from your past pain, your old trauma, and the energy of those who once doubted you. And it has been standing close, like a neighbor standing outside your home. My beloved child, listen with me. Because you are about to hear something that will change your path completely. Heaven says, this shadow appears when someone from your life, past or present, sends envy, doubt, or energy of lack toward you. Not with intention. Not with malice. Sometimes without even knowing. But the effect is the same. Your peace suffers. Your energy weakens. Your blessings slow down. Your money feels unsafe. And every time you try to rise, you feel pulled back down. My beloved child, do not scroll. Michael says, this is the energy that has been trying to take your inheritance. Your inheritance of peace. Your inheritance of abundance. Your inheritance of divine protection. This is what heaven meant in the title. Your neighbor is trying to steal your wealth. Not wealth in the material sense, but your spiritual wealth. Your inner inheritance. Your divine birthright to abundance. And heaven is giving you 90 seconds to understand the truth. Because the moment you recognize this shadow, it loses all power. But Michael warns, there is one sign, one specific moment, that proves this shadow has been operating around you. And I am about to reveal it. My beloved child, don't scroll now. This is where the truth begins to rise. The sign, Archangel Michael reveals the truth. Michael's voice deepens. The room around you grows still. A cold, electric air surrounds your shoulders. He says, this shadow shows itself when you feel attacked from nowhere. When money disappears suddenly. When peace is stolen. When tears come without reason. When hope almost slips away. When you feel someone is taking from your spirit. When you sense emotional or financial loss without explanation. Stop right here. Do not skip. Michael says, this shadow stands close to your life like a neighbor stands close to your home. But now that you see it, it will no longer steal anything from you. Because heaven has stepped in. Michael has drawn his sword. The light of God surrounds you. But there is one more warning. A warning Michael says you must hear before this part ends. My beloved child. This next sentence may shake you. He says, the shadow drains you the most when you doubt your own worth. It attaches itself to fear. It feeds on exhaustion. It grows when you stop believing in yourself. And tonight, Michael wants to rip it away from your life forever. My beloved child, don't scroll. You must hear what he says next. The Part 1 closing, massive suspense. Michael's wings fold around you. He lifts his sword. The ground beneath his presence glows gold. He whispers. In the next part, I will reveal exactly where this shadow entered your life, why it chose you, and the one powerful action you must take to remove it forever. My beloved child, you cannot miss this. Because once you hear what comes next, you will finally understand why your blessings slowed down, why your finances felt unstable, why your peace disappeared, why you felt spiritually attacked, why someone's energy has been affecting your home. But for now, my beloved child, before you move to Part 2, Heaven asks you to anchor this message. That means, like this message, subscribe so Michael can reach you again. Comment, I receive Archangel Michael's protection. Share this with 10 people you care about, so that his shield spreads across every home connected to yours. And when you're ready for the truth, the real truth, my beloved child, don't scroll. Something sacred is happening around you right now. In the previous part, Archangel Michael revealed the presence of the neighboring shadow. The draining energy that stood close to your life, close enough to feel familiar, close enough to feel harmless, yet quietly weakening your blessings. But Michael wasn't finished. In fact, he says the next revelation is the most important one. Stop right here. My beloved child, listen with me. Do not scroll. Because Michael says, the shadow did not enter by accident. And now, right now, at this very moment, he is ready to reveal when, how, and why it entered your life. Your pulse may rise. Your chest may tighten. Your eyes may feel heavy. That is because your spirit knows. You are about to hear a truth you have felt but never understood. Do not skip. Stay with me. The origin of the shadow, suspense deepens. Archangel Michael unfolds a scroll of heavenly light. On this scroll is a memory. Not one you consciously think about, but one your soul has carried for years. He whispers. The shadow first approached your life on a day you felt abandoned. My beloved child, do not scroll. Listen. Heaven shows the moment. A time when you trusted someone, and they disappointed you. A time when you gave, and someone took from you emotionally. A time when you were forced to be strong, while others were allowed to be weak. It may have been an old relationship, a broken promise, a family wound, a betrayal from someone you loved, a financial scare, an emotional collapse, or a deep moment of loneliness. Whatever it was, Michael says, this was the moment your light flickered. And when your light flickered, the shadow slipped in. Not because you were weak, Not because you were unprotected, but because pain opens cracks. And shadows are attracted to cracks. My beloved child. Do not scroll. Michael continues. This shadow recognizes people with big hearts. It targets those who love deeply, those who give freely, those who heal others before healing themselves. You know this. You've lived this. You carry wounds from giving too much. And every time you were drained emotionally, every time you were taken for granted, every time your kindness was not returned, the shadow grew stronger. It began standing close to your life, like a neighbor, leaning over your fence, watching your light, waiting for the moment you became tired. My beloved child. Listen with me. Michael says. The shadow steals energy, not material wealth. It steals confidence. It steals clarity. It steals peace. And sometimes, peace is more valuable than money. Clarity is worth more than gold. Confidence is the key to blessing. Do not scroll. There is more. The real reason it chose you. Michael lowers his sword. He looks at you with fierce protection. He whispers. The shadow chose you because you carry a destiny others do not. Stop right here. Do not scroll. Heaven shows two paths. One path where you live a small life, unseen, unheard. Another path where you rise, heal, lead, shine, thrive. The shadow fears the second path. Michael explains. It targeted you because your soul carries ancient strength. You are someone who survives storms. Someone who rises from pain. Someone who inspires others simply by existing. Even when you doubt yourself. Even when you feel lonely. Even when you cry quietly so no one hears. Your light still frightens the darkness. And that is why it tried to drain your peace. Your confidence. Your financial stability. Your inner inheritance. My beloved child. Don't scroll. Because what Michael says next is the most emotional part of this entire message. The moment the shadow became bolder, Michael reveals something shocking. The shadow became stronger each time you tried to heal someone who refused to heal themselves. Read that again. My beloved child, do not scroll. How many times have you stayed loyal to someone who hurt you? Helped someone who never appreciated you? Carried burdens that were never yours? Saved people who would not save themselves? Given money, time, energy, love until you were empty? Every time you did that, the shadow fed on the emotional exhaustion. This is why you felt drained. Why you felt sad for no reason. Why blessings slipped away. Why money flowed out faster than it came in. Why your heart felt heavy. The shadow was feeding. But now, my beloved child. Michael raises his sword. The feeding ends today. The warning, the most important part. Before Michael reveals the next step, he gives you a warning. If you do not hear the next part, The shadow could remain. Do not scroll. Listen with me. Heaven says. The shadow is afraid of being exposed. And the moment you learn how it entered your life, it loses all power. Michael looks directly at you. He says, the shadow entered through a wound you've never fully healed. And you must know which wound it was. Your breath may shake. Your heart may pound. This is the moment you were meant to hear. Your entire life. But before Michael reveals this wound, he stops. He pauses. He holds his sword to his heart. He whispers, my child, the wound I am about to show you may be painful to remember. But once you see it, you will finally be free. My beloved child, don't scroll. Because what comes next will explain your entire life story. Michael steps back. Light circles around you. The air thickens with heavenly energy. He says, in the next part, I will reveal exactly which wound opened the door to the shadow, and how to close that door forever. My beloved child, before you move forward, Heaven asks you to anchor this message. Like this message. Subscribe so Michael can continue guiding you. Comment, I am ready to heal. Share this with 10 people you love, so this protection spreads through every home connected to your heart. And when you're ready for the wound to be revealed, when you want to know the truth hidden for years, my beloved child, don't scroll. Don't look away. Stay right here with me. Because this is the moment Archangel Michael has been preparing you for. In part 2, he said, the shadow entered through a wound you never fully healed. And now, as the heavens open gently above you, he stands closer than ever before. His wings surround your spirit. His sword glows brighter than anything your eyes have seen. He whispers, my child, the wound I am about to reveal is the wound that shaped your entire journey. Do not scroll. Stay with me. Your spirit, your heart, your breath, all know. This is the turning point. The wound, the one that let the shadow in. Michael raises his hand. Light spreads across the memory fields of your life. He shows you not a moment, but a pattern. A pattern you've lived so long that you thought it was normal. A pattern that shaped your choices. A pattern that made you strong, but also made you vulnerable. The wound is this. You learned to take care of everyone else, long before anyone ever learned to take care of you. My beloved child, don't scroll. You must hear this. Michael continues. You grew up believing that your needs didn't matter, that your voice should be quiet, that you must stay strong while others fell apart. That love meant sacrifice, and sacrifice meant pain. Heaven shows. The times you swallowed your emotions, the moments you stayed silent to avoid hurting others, the years you carried burdens for family, the nights you cried alone because you didn't want to worry anyone. The relationships where you gave more than you received. The moments you kept peace at the cost of your own peace. That wound. That lifelong role. Opened the door. My beloved child, do not scroll. Because Michael says, this is the wound the shadow used to enter your life. Not because you were weak, but because you were loving. Your kindness. Your empathy. Your patience. Your strength. Your softness. Your willingness to forgive. Your readiness to help. These beautiful qualities, your divine gifts, became the shadow's pathway. Not because love is wrong, but because you were never taught to protect yourself emotionally. Do not scroll. Feel this truth. Let it sink in. The moment the shadow entered fully, Michael now reveals the moment the shadow became bold. Not the first entrance, but the moment it took its position near your blessings. Like a neighbor standing too close, too curious, too watchful. He says, the shadow grew strongest on the day you blamed yourself for someone else's behavior. My beloved child. Did you hear that? Take a breath. Don't scroll. Heaven shows the moment. Someone hurt you, but you made excuses for them. Someone disappointed you, but you felt guilty. Someone took from you, but you convinced yourself it was okay. Someone spoke harshly, but you forgave instantly. Someone walked away, but you carried the blame. Michael whispers. Self-blame is the doorway through which all draining energy enters. Because when you blame yourself, you shrink. You dim. You soften your boundaries. You lose trust in your own intuition. You question your worth. You silence your voice. And when your voice goes quiet, shadows grow loud. Stop right here. Do not scroll. This message is meant for your soul. The shadow's intention, not what you expect. Michael reveals something shocking. Something the shadow never wanted you to know. He says, the shadow never wanted your money. It wanted your belief in lack. Because when a person believes in lack, they doubt themselves. They fear losing. They expect disappointment. They shrink their dreams. They accept less than they deserve. They stop asking for abundance. And when that happens, everything slows down. Finances, opportunities, confidence, relationships, healing, growth. My beloved child, listen with me. Michael says, the shadow's goal was never to take your wealth, but to make you believe you never deserved any. Let that truth sit inside your heart for a moment. You have lived years of your life, giving too much, receiving too little, hoping quietly, suffering silently. And the shadow knew. A person who forgets their value, forgets their blessings. My beloved child, do not scroll. Because now comes the part heaven has waited years to give you. Why heaven is intervening now? Michael steps forward. His sword glows with a blue-white fire. Your spirit feels the energy shift. He says, "The shadow has reached its limit. Do not scroll. This is important. Heaven has watched your journey. Watched your tears. Watched your silent battles. Watched your quiet resilience. And heaven decided. Your suffering ends now. Because you have reached the point in your life where your soul is ready to rise. Ready to be lifted. Ready to be protected. Ready to receive abundance. Without fear. Without doubt. Without loss." Michael whispers, "This message came to you today because you are entering your restoration season. My beloved child, don't scroll. Because what comes next is the part that changes everything. The final revelation of Part 3. Michael raises his sword. Heaven grows silent. The air becomes holy. And he says, "The wound opened the door. But your awakening will close it forever. Your awakening has already begun. You are becoming aware. You are recognizing patterns. You are healing old wounds. You are reclaiming your voice. You are stepping into self-worth. You are connecting to divine guidance." Michael says, "This is why the shadow is afraid. You are no longer the same person you were years ago. You are rising. You are transforming. You are remembering your power. And my beloved child, this is only the beginning. The next part will reveal exactly how heaven plans to remove the shadow permanently, and how your blessings will flow again, stronger than ever before." Michael lowers his wings around you and says, "In the next part, I will show you the 3 signs that the shadow is still near your life, and the one heavenly command that forces it to disappear instantly." My beloved child, before you move to Part 4, Heaven asks you to anchor this message. Like this message. Subscribe so Michael can reach you again. Comment, "I am ready for freedom." Share this with 10 people you care about, so Michael's shield expands around every life connected to you. And when you are ready, ready for the 3 signs, ready for the command, ready for liberation, my beloved child, don't scroll. You are stepping into a part of the message that is sacred. Michael stands so close now. Closer than he has been in any of the previous parts. His wings curve behind you like a protective shield. The light around him is trembling with purpose. He whispers, "My child, the time has come. You must hear the 3 signs. These 3 signs will reveal whether the shadow is still near your life, still feeding on your energy, still trying to dim your blessings. You may feel your chest tighten. Your fingers may feel warm. Your eyes may sting with emotion. That is because your spirit knows. The truth is moments away. Don't scroll. Stay with me." The first sign, the sign of quiet draining. Michael lifts his hand. A blue flame appears, swirling gently. He says, The first sign the shadow is near is when your peace leaves quietly, without reason. My beloved child, listen with me. Have you ever woken up already tired? Felt heavy even on calm days? Lost motivation suddenly? Felt anxious without explanation? Wanted to cry and didn't know why? Had small obstacles pile up all at once? This is not coincidence. This is not getting older. This is not your imagination. Michael reveals. The shadow drains energy subtly, like a neighbor tugging on your garden fence. It does not break anything. It simply pulls until you weaken. This is the sign most people ignore. But you, my beloved child, you are not supposed to ignore it anymore. Do not scroll. There is more. The second sign, the sign of unexplained loss. Michael lets the flame soften. He lowers his sword. He whispers. The second sign the shadow is near is when blessings slip away right when they're about to arrive. My beloved child, feel this. Have you ever been so close to something good, but lost it last minute? Had money come in, then immediately go back out? Received an opportunity, only for it to fall through? Felt someone pull away just when they got close to you? Experienced unexpected expenses out of nowhere? Michael reveals. The shadow steals momentum, not miracles. It drains the buildup before the blessing. It weakens the energy around your breakthroughs. It creates delays. It causes confusion. It makes you doubt yourself. It slows the flow of abundance. Stop right here. Don't scroll. Michael is not finished. He says. This sign shows the shadow is losing power. Because blessings have begun reaching you again. Your rising energy has already begun weakening the force around you. Stay with me. The third sign, the sign of emotional echoes. Michael raises his wings slightly. The temperature shifts. You may feel chills. He says. The third sign the shadow is near is when old pain suddenly returns in waves. My beloved child, listen carefully. This is the sign that hurts the most. This is when old memories come back. Old wounds reopen. Old fears return. Old insecurities whisper again. Old doubts echo in your mind. Old heartbreak feels fresh again. Michael explains. When your spirit is close to breaking free, the shadow tries to pull you back into old pain. Because shadows cannot survive in healed hearts. So they drag up the betrayal you endured, the disappointment you hid, the tears you swallowed, the words that broke you, the loneliness you carried, the love you lost, the guilt you never deserved, the burden you still carry. My beloved child, do not scroll. Because what you are feeling is not a setback. It is a sign of your awakening. Michael whispers. Pain returning is not the shadow winning. It is the shadow screaming. Because it knows it is losing you. Let that sink in. Let those words melt into your heart. You are not going backwards. You are breaking free. The shadow's fear, why it is losing power. Michael steps forward. Light pours from his chest. He says. The shadow has been losing its grip on you for months. Why? Because you're more aware. You're stronger. You're wiser. You're spiritually rising. You're recognizing patterns. You're listening to divine guidance. You're beginning to remember your worth. My beloved child. Don't scroll. Michael reveals. The shadow cannot survive in the presence of self-love. Every time you put yourself first, say no, set a boundary, speak your truth, honor your feelings, rest without guilt, believe in yourself, pray, heal, grow, rise. The shadow weakens. It loses permission to stand at the edge of your life. It loses access to your emotional field. It loses influence over your blessings. The neighbor shadow is not stealing anymore. You are reclaiming everything that was ever yours. The one heavenly command that destroys the shadow. Michael lowers his sword, then suddenly raises it in a beam of blinding light. He says, "My child, the shadow fears only one command. Do not scroll. Don't breathe too fast. Stay with me. Because this command is older than the earth, spoken in heaven, and protected by God Himself." Michael speaks the word slowly. I revoke permission. My beloved child. Read that again. I revoke permission. Michael explains. Shadows cannot attach to what does not permit them. You do not defeat darkness. You simply remove its invitation. You say, I revoke permission for fear. I revoke permission for lack. I revoke permission for self-doubt. I revoke permission for draining energy. I revoke permission for emotional theft. I revoke permission for shadows near my life. I revoke permission for anything that is not mine. This command is the sword, the shield, the fire, the gate, the closure. Michael says, this is how you take back your inheritance. Not by fighting, but by choosing. Shadows lose power the moment you decide, I am not available for this anymore. My beloved child. Don't scroll. Because what comes next is the most powerful moment yet. The closing of Part 4, the rising of your spirit. The heavens shake softly. A warm wind moves around you. Michael places his sword before you. He says, in the next part, I will reveal what your new blessings will look like, when they will arrive, and who heaven is sending to guide you next. This is the chapter of restoration, financial stability, emotional healing, spiritual clarity, divine companionship, protection, peace. But before you move forward, you must anchor your energy. My beloved child. If this message reached you, it was not random. Heaven guided it. Michael stands waiting to continue, but asks you first to anchor your protection. Like this message. Subscribe so you never miss the next divine message. Comment, I revoke permission for all shadows. Share this with 10 people you care about, so his shield spreads through every heart connected to yours. When you're ready for Part 5, the part that reveals your future blessings. My beloved child. Don't scroll. Your spiritual field is changing as these words reach you. Archangel Michael steps forward again. His light is different now. Brighter, calmer. As though a storm has passed. And dawn is rising. He whispers. My child, what comes next is not warning. It is divine reassurance. The room around you feels warmer. Your heart feels held. Your breath deepens. Because heaven is preparing. Not to warn you, but to restore you. Do not scroll. Listen with me. Archangel Michael has waited years to tell you this. The first blessing, the return of peace. Michael opens his palm. A soft golden light appears. He says, the first blessing returning to you is peace. Not temporary peace, but lasting, anchored peace. My beloved child. Remember the nights you lay awake? Remember the years when your heart never felt fully safe? Remember the seasons where everything felt like survival? Michael says, your nervous system has been tired for too long. Heaven is restoring it now. The blessing of peace comes in signs. You will sleep deeper. Your mind will quiet. Your body will relax. Your chest will feel lighter. Your fears will dissolve. Your emotions will stabilize. This is not coincidence. This is not you finally calming down. This is heaven intervening. Michael whispers. Peace returns first, because peace is the foundation for all other blessings. Do not scroll. There is more. The second blessing, the alignment of finances. Michael strengthens his stance. A ripple of blue energy spreads across the spiritual ground beneath you. He says, your finances are entering alignment. My beloved child. Listen with me. For years, you felt like money slipped away. Blessings got delayed. Opportunities dissolved. Stability wasn't stable. Abundance felt far away. Michael reveals something shocking. Your financial instability was never a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of spiritual interference. The shadow drained your confidence, your clarity, your motivation, your trust, your momentum. And when those weaken, finances weaken. But Michael says, that interference is now breaking. And once it breaks, 3 financial blessings follow. 1. Unexpected opportunities. 2. Stability in income. 3. A slow but powerful increase in abundance. Not luck. Not chance. Divine timing. Heaven says, your inheritance is not what you lost. Your inheritance is what is returning. Do not scroll. There is still more. The third blessing, the return of your voice. Michael's wings glow softly. He says, your voice is being restored. My beloved child. This may be the deepest blessing of all. For so long, you stayed silent to avoid conflict. Swallowed your pain to keep peace. Held your needs in the back of your heart. Softened your truth to protect others. Allowed your voice to be overshadowed. Let guilt silence your desires. Michael reveals. Your silence was learned. But your voice was divine. And heaven is returning it. You will notice. You speak more boldly. You express your feelings without fear. You ask for what you need. You say no without guilt. You choose your peace first. You set boundaries you once avoided. Your voice is coming back. And when your voice returns, your destiny changes. Do not scroll, my beloved child. Because Michael is just preparing you. The fourth blessing, the release from loneliness. This moment will hit deepest for many of my 55+ female viewers. You have carried loneliness silently. Michael says, heaven is preparing someone to walk with you. Someone gentle. Someone wise. Someone warm. Someone divinely aligned. But before you think this is romantic love, Michael clarifies. The companion heaven sends is not always a lover. Sometimes it is a soul friend or divine supporter. It could be a new friend, a spiritual mentor, a trusted listener, a supportive presence, a healing connection, someone who sees your worth clearly. Heaven says, you were never meant to walk alone. And now, you won't. My beloved child. Don't scroll. Because the next blessing is the one your heart has longed for. The fifth blessing, the repair of your heart. Michael lowers his head gently. A gesture he rarely makes. He says, the wound that allowed the shadow in is about to be healed by divine hands. You know the wound. You've carried it for years. It shaped your life. It shaped your fears. It shaped your trust. It shaped your self-worth. Michael says, this wound will no longer control your future. In the coming weeks, memories will soften. Triggers will fade. Pain will dissolve. Forgiveness will rise. Guilt will leave. Self-love will rebuild. Your heart will feel safe again. Heaven is not returning you to who you were. Heaven is making you someone stronger than ever before. My beloved child. Don't scroll. Because now, we enter the most suspenseful part. When the blessings will arrive, the heavenly timeline. Michael does not speak timelines easily. But today, he opens the spiritual calendar. He whispers, your blessings begin unfolding within the next 21 days. Not all at once. Not instantly. But steadily, like the rising sun. The incoming tide. The unfurling of a flower. The healing of a scar. You may feel chills, tears, or a sudden softness in your chest. That is your spirit recognizing truth. Michael continues. By the 7th week from today, 3 major areas of your life will shift. Not small shifts. Life shifts. Even now, you may feel pressure lifting, energy rising, clarity forming, peace returning. This is heaven working. Do not scroll. Because the final revelation is coming. Who heaven is sending, the divine presence. Michael steps aside. A gentle golden light appears behind him. He says, my child, heaven is sending you a guardian of emotional healing. Not an angel you've worked with before. Not a guide you already know. But someone new. A presence of warmth, reassurance, patience, protection, clarity, gentle wisdom. This guide's purpose is to quiet your anxiety, protect your heart, strengthen your intuition, guide your decisions, rebuild your self-trust, bring emotional safety. Michael whispers. You will feel them first in moments of stillness. Signs you'll notice. A warmth around your shoulders. A cooling sensation on your neck. A soft pressure on your hand. A sudden wave of calm. A glowing feeling in your chest. A quiet voice of reassurance. This guide is coming. Because heaven does not want you to heal alone. My beloved child. Don't scroll. Because the closing of this part is massive. Michael raises his sword one final time for this chapter. He says, in the next part, I will reveal what your destiny is shifting toward, what chapter of life you are leaving, and what your next divine identity will be. My beloved child. Before we continue, heaven asks you to anchor this message. Like this message. Subscribe so Michael can reach you again. Comment, I am ready for my blessings. Share this with 10 people you love. So the heavenly protection spreads through every heart connected to yours. And when you're ready for the future, your true destiny, your next identity. My beloved child. Listen closely. Stay with me. As this part begins, the atmosphere around you changes. A soft wind moves. A subtle heat rises in your chest. Your spirit feels a gentle pull upward. This is not your imagination. Archangel Michael steps forward. Not as the warrior you saw before, but as a guide revealing prophecy. He whispers, my child, you are not stepping into a new chapter. You are stepping into a new identity. Do not scroll. Stay right here. You are about to hear truths your soul has waited decades for. The chapter that is ending, a lifelong season. Michael lifts his wings slowly. The room becomes still. He says, the chapter that is ending now is the chapter of emotional survival. My beloved child. For years, maybe even most of your life, you have lived in survival mode. You may never have said it out loud, but your heart knows. You survived pain. You survived loss. You survived disappointment. You survived betrayal. You survived loneliness. You survived emotional drought. You survived spiritual attack. You survived silence. You survived scarcity. You survived seasons you should have never faced alone. Michael shows a timeline of your life. The heartbreak you hid. The burdens you carried. The nights you prayed quietly. The sacrifices you made. The tears you wiped quickly so no one saw. The times you smiled when you were wounded inside. The moments you stayed strong for others while breaking inside. These were not random years. These were training years. And now, Michael announces, that era has ended. Not paused. Not slowed. Ended. My beloved child, do not scroll. Because what heaven is replacing it with is beyond anything you've lived before. The chapter you are entering, the era of elevation. Michael's wings flare with golden fire. He says, you are entering the chapter of elevation. Not survival. Elevation. Heaven shows you. Rising financially. Rising spiritually. Rising emotionally. Rising socially. Rising mentally. Rising into purpose. Rising into peace. This chapter will feel unfamiliar at first. Because you're used to fighting. But Michael whispers, you will no longer receive blessings through struggle. You will receive them through alignment. You may feel chills, warmth, tears building behind your eyes. That is because your soul remembers this truth. Do not scroll. This is for you. Your new spiritual status, the divine identity. This is the part that will shake your heart. Michael steps closer to you than ever before. He says, your next identity is that of a restored one. My beloved child, you are not entering this new chapter broken, wounded, or afraid. You are entering it reborn. Michael explains. The restored one is a soul who has survived what should have destroyed them, and emerges with divine wisdom, divine protection, and divine authority. This identity brings emotional resilience, spiritual clarity, stronger intuition, new confidence, protection from draining energies, magnetism for blessings, healing aura, peaceful strength. Heaven says, this is the version of you your destiny has been waiting for. Don't scroll. You need to hear what comes next. What your destiny now looks like, the 3 paths. Michael reveals 3 glowing paths before you. Each represents a part of your new destiny. Path 1, the path of inner peace. This path is golden, soft, warm. It represents emotional healing, release from past wounds, freedom from shadows, comfort, slower, gentle days, restful nights, stable emotions. Michael says, this peace is not fragile. It is anchored. Path 2, the path of abundance. This path glows emerald green. It represents steady finances, better opportunities, unexpected blessings, overflow instead of lack, stability replacing fear, clarity replacing confusion. Michael whispers, abundance flows where fear once lived. Path 3, the path of soul connections. This path glows rose pink. It represents new friendships, a soul companion, divine support, emotional safety, meaningful relationships, healed family ties, genuine love. Heaven says, you were never meant to walk alone. My beloved child, do not scroll. Because your next identity flows through one final revelation. The divine role you are stepping into. Michael lowers his wings around you like a cloak. He says, your next divine role is that of a light holder. Take a breath. Feel these words settle into your heart. A light holder is someone who carries peace wherever they go, inspires healing without speaking, radiates calm energy, attracts divine guidance, serves as a spiritual anchor, awakens intuition in others, stands protected by heaven. This is why the shadows fought you so hard. This is why life never felt easy. This is why you survived so much. Because heaven was shaping a light holder. And now your light is not dimming. It is rising. The suspenseful revelation, what is about to shift next. Michael pauses. His expression changes. Softer. More serious. He whispers. There is one more transformation coming. The biggest one of all. Do not scroll. Don't breathe too fast. Stay here. Heaven reveals. There is a powerful blessing that is about to enter your life. One so divine, so transformative, that it will make everything you suffered finally make sense. Michael says, this blessing is the one the shadow tried to stop. Your heart knows what it is. Your soul has been waiting for it. Your spirit has whispered for it at night. But Michael will reveal this blessing in the next part, because you must prepare for it. My beloved child. Before we continue, Heaven asks you to anchor this sacred message. Like this message. Subscribe so Michael can reach you again. Comment, I step into my new identity. Share this with 10 people you care about, so that this divine protection and blessing spreads. And when you are ready for the revelation of the one destiny blessing that will change your entire future,